Hey Eric, this is Armand. So, your coach, Alicia, told me that she wanted me to look at some of your videos for feedback. I don't know if she told you that, but I've been staring at your videos online, so I hope you're okay with that. Not that I care. This is the first time I've done one of these video feedback things, so I am going to get distracted by my face, especially since I'm really tired and there's an American flag behind me, and yeah. But let's go over your speech and talk about things to improve on. I think a visual format works a little bit better so I can demonstrate with my body what I want you to do. Okay. First thing, in terms of delivery, you have this tendency to sway your head. So what you do is you go like, or when you're speaking, you have a tendency to just like shift your head constantly, right? The way you want to use your head is to use a normal conversation mode. So, for example, if you have an audience of multiple people, you lock eye contact with the person you're talking to. So let's say I have an audience of 3 here. Here, and here. I'll say, no, I believe that the best policies are those that help the American people. Because the American people are really cool. What you do is kind of this indecisive movement, right? Look shifting. Now, lesson 2. Holes in your hands, holes in your arguments. So I don't want you to karate chop necessarily. You don't want to look stiff, but you want to sort of have a relaxed, composed hand gesture. What happens when you gesture is you have this tendency to kind of do this like weird claw thing, and then you let your nervous energy flow out through that, through your hand gestures. This makes it so that your hands are kind of distracting, don't look firm and decisive. Take a look at Barack Obama's speech right now, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Right? He always does this, or this, maybe this, but never, the claw. Okay. Let's talk about your biggest issue. Bro, if you want me to be excited about your speech, you ought to be excited about it. Alright? Like, I was asleep after the first minute. No offense. Your content is actually relatively solid. You have interesting anecdotes. But you sound so unenthused to be there. Now, I know your speaking style isn't like, you're not Victoria. And you're not going to be super dramatic, like a nonce. But you need to find something that's a more intense version of your current style. So, I'm going to look up, try to find some famous speakers, because they do remind me of some people. But you have a gravelly voice, sort of like deep, manly tone, right? But you sound so listless. So this is how you talk normally, like, well, I believe that these policies, what you want to do is step up the intensity and the depth of your voice. I believe that these policies are wrong, right? Volume goes a long way. So a couple things you could do to fix that. First, just more energy in your physical delivery and in your voice, right? Like, sound interested in what you're talking about. That's probably important. Second, volume. You just need to be loud. Having the same level of emotional intensity but twice the volume automatically communicates more energy, even if you don't put more energy to a speech. Okay? Let's talk about monotone. Monotone doesn't just mean how loud you are, and it doesn't just mean how like energetic your speech is. It also means that there's just a very similar variety. So I could give a speech that's super energetic the whole time, but I'd have a monotone because I only have one. You don't have variety. You're always, right? You need to be, So an example of that. So I went to a grocery store, had a few drinks. Don't know why I'm drinking at a grocery store, but whatever. Right? That's a casual style. And if you notice, even in that casual style, my speed, my rhythm changed and altered. So I already had like a lot of variety. And then I can switch from, I had a few drinks, but then a robber came. Right? That's when it got intense. I slowed down a bit. And he killed my grandmother. Oh, I didn't even know it worked there. Haha. Right? Like, a lot of emotional range right there. We can go over later how like these things specifically break down at a lot of different levels, but the bottom line is variety, bro. Variety. The way you can work on that is to force yourself to read like a passage of text in first do it in different emotions, right? Find one piece of text and read it. Let's say this is the amazing stuff I have to read. Neutral tone. The palm wine that Africans in the region made by fermenting the sap of trees, which was consumed daily, passed beyond the African producers and consumers as African rulers shared the drink. Right? Then there's angry. The palm wine that Africans in the region made by fermenting, and they're sad. The palm wine that Africans in the region made, right? That sort of thing. Okay. That's emotional training. Then you can make speed training, variety of like how fast you talk, right? Normal pace. While his army was still in the field in Kasanze, while his army was still fielded in the Kasanze, while his army was still in, right? Normal, fast, slow. Then you come back to your original and reintegrate the multiple varieties of it. That builds variety. That's an emotion exercise and a speed exercise. Speed exercise doesn't mean, by the way, speed drills. It just means like different kinds of speed. Speed drills are something debaters do. Let's talk about gestures. This is the last thing. So your gestures need to have, and you have it sometimes, what I call smoothness. If you ever watch like an interpreter or an HI give a speech, you'll notice that the good interpreters have what's called technique. They have pop. What do I mean by that? Okay. So let's look at my hand specifically. When you gesture, you have a tendency to sort of like not really plant it, right? You go like a good smooth gesture goes with like a certain amount of force and lands. Let me try this. And lands, right? Bam. So there's like a rhythm to it. It's like doop. You don't plant your gestures. The other thing is you need to drop them, right? See a famous speaker. They don't keep their hands up all the time. This weird tick speech and debaters have, and it's one of the things that bugs me the most is their hands are always up. Notice how distracting that is? Right? Gesture. Gesture. Finish. Drop. Crisp movement. That's clean. Not hesitant. Not sort of maybe going there. You go for it. You plant it. And you move on. Okay? So, bottom line is, first priority, your energy and your intensity. You improve that, you'll go way better. Right? You gotta keep me interested, dude. I gotta be interested. Second, holes in your hands, holes in your arguments. Make those gestures complete and make them pop. And third, and last thing is, if you're referencing smiling, you should smile. Like, really? Alright, man. I'll talk to you later. Good luck.